The number of English language learners in our classrooms is increasing rapidly every single school year, with current statistics showing that on average 1 in 10 students are ELL, and in major metropolitan areas up to 1 in 4. Sadly, teacher training programs and school districts across the nation cannot keep up with this shift in demographics, and that leaves us with teachers not receiving the vital skills and knowledge to best teach the diverse learners in their classrooms. This is causing teachers to feel stressed, overwhelmed, and burnt out. According to a recent report written by Face the Facts USA, they concluded that out of all the teachers in the US, less than 1% are certified and have the training required to teach ELLs. Less than 1% know how to support the 5 million plus number of ELL students in our schools, even though homeroom teachers are responsible for the majority of their learning. This is leaving our schools with 2 huge problems. The first problem is that 99% of our teachers do not have the training needed to meet the needs of students who are learning an additional language. This is not setting up our teachers for success and will only increase the educational gap our ELL students are experiencing. The second problem is that for the 1% that does have the training, they are overwhelmed with high caseloads or the weight of being the sole provider for ELL differentiation in their school. Whether you are the 99% or the 1%, the stress and burden you and your students feel is not fair, and it's also not your fault. Figuring out how best to support ELLs is not easy, but I do believe that the process can be made simpler when we start with a firm foundation. Just like our students, we need to build schema in order to learn new information, and to do that, we must begin with a solid framework. Over my years of experience in working with ELLs, both in the public schools in the US and in private schools internationally, I have found there are 3 essential building blocks that you need to have in place in order to begin meeting the needs of ELL students in your classroom. The first step is to have a welcoming environment for all learners. This is crucial, and without it, no other language learning can happen. Learning a language involves a lot of vulnerability and risk-taking. So take the time and effort necessary to think through your space and how it looks through the eyes of your ELLs. One way you can help make a welcoming environment is by having books in different languages or having materials in your classroom with the languages of your students. This one small shift to your classroom will send a loud message that you see your students and you care for who they are and the gifts they bring to your classroom. Step 2 is to authentically assess frequently. What I mean by this is using formative assessments to quickly check in and observe how your ELLs are doing with the materials presented to them. This can be as easy as grabbing a Post-it note and listening to group work to observe how your ELLs are speaking during peer conversations. Writing down your observations can help you quickly be aware of ways your ELLs are improving or areas you might need to reteach and help them further. Step 3 is to add in engaging strategies and scaffolds. When it comes to ELLs, strategies and scaffolds are the name of the game in order to unlock their ability to learn language and content together. Filling your strategy toolbox is also vital for you to gain confidence in easy ways to make sure your ELLs are getting supported, and also will help remove the burden from you to have to plan multiple lessons for your students to all get the support they need. When looking for strategies to begin with, make sure to find strategies that will lower the affective filter, which means lower the ways that you're putting your ELL students on the spot in front of the whole class. Instead, you want to find strategies that allow the students to move, discuss, and learn from one another. The more time your ELL students can spend talking, processing, and questioning, the quicker they will improve in English. I am passionate about empowering you to equip English language learners in your classroom, and I believe you can build the foundation you need through my course, ELL Strategy Academy. In ELL Strategy Academy, we will go in depth on the 3-step framework I just shared with you. In Module 1, we will take a closer look at culturally responsive teaching, and I will share practical and easy ways for you to make a big impact on creating a welcoming environment ripe for language learning. In Module 2, we will be talking all things assessment. I will share more ways to quickly assess to guide instruction, how to write lesson plans with ELLs in mind, and how to modify assessments and assignments you use with your whole class for all levels of ELLs. Last, in Modules 3, 4, and 5, I will help fill your strategy toolbox as we walk through all 3 levels of ELLs, which are beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And then under each of the levels, I share strategies for the 4 language domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. By the end, you'll have a toolbox of 25 easy-to-implement strategies for ELLs. Whether you are brand new to teaching ELLs or are looking for ways to streamline your support, ELL Strategy Academy can help.